Tonight, we are starting with Satan. Satan in the classroom, a push to get an after-school satanic club going for grade school kids all around the country, and it's still going strong except in one Pennsylvania community. And while most may stand up and cheer about that one defeat in Pennsylvania, there is a strong case to be made. If God can come into the classroom, so can Satan. And it's coming from a pastor. What do you think?
Well, it's called the After School Satan Club, but we don't engage in religious indoctrination. We're not trying to convert children to Satanism. It just happens to be a club run by the Satanic Temple, and we put it into school districts where they do have proselytizing evangelical clubs where people are free to send their children to those. But we have parents in multiple school districts who want an alternative and want the critical thinking studies that we have on our curriculum and other such things. And the school board voted against that in York County, Pennsylvania. And that doesn't end the battle. It only begins the battle because they seem entirely ignorant of the law over there, which would have prevented them from having a vote to begin with. Because frankly, it's not up to a school board to decide which religious groups they approve of and which ones they do not. Those public facilities are open to any group. They're not endorsed by the school district. They're not part of the regular school curriculum. They're not forced to have their children engage with it if they don't want. They didn't need to create this controversy over it, and we would rather that they hadn't. And if they didn't like it, there was no way it was going to impede upon their lives or their religious worship in any way.
Now, for parents who may be concerned out there and they hear the word Satan, the After School Satan Club, do you blame them for thinking this would be more about devil worshiping than what you're saying it's about?
No, we realize that people are going to have that kind of visceral reaction. People have their assumptions about what self-identified Satanism means to the people who are engaged with it or practicing it. And that's fine. It's up to us to put forward the public messaging to let people know who we really are and what we really believe and what we do. And part of that is allowing us to engage in the public forum in ways in which we can show people and lead by example and show what we really mean when we say these things and what we're really doing. And again, if they don't want to engage with us, they don't have to. But I think they shouldn't deny us equal access just based on the assumptions they've made prior.
So what would happen in one of these clubs after school? What would you talk about? What would you do? What would be the curriculum for parents who may be, skeptical of it?
Earlier on, when we were putting together our curriculum for the After School Satan Clubs, we had a very kind of defined curriculum that we felt led children through different critical thinking exercises to build up their thought process skills and a reliance on science to find solutions to questions they have. What we found when we started initiating these clubs is that being an after-school club, the children weren't really interested in jumping into a degree-type program after class and were more interested probably in having fun and playing games or whatever. So we opted for a more self-directed learning curriculum where we have games and activities and trained volunteers who can help guide the children through lessons related to whatever they're interested in at that time. And so in that way, we want to kind of keep it light and fun and still fill that time.
Now, Pastor D.Z. Cofield, who's based here in Houston, what would be wrong with that?
Well, I think, first of all, thank you for having me on. I think the issue is really about a parent's choice. And I don't disagree with Mr. Greaves's position, in part because when you look back at the 2001 Supreme Court rule that was rendered, churches and Christian-based organizations have used that to their advantage for years. I'm concerned that even though I am a Christian, I'm concerned that they're bringing the Bible in to the instructional day. That is a concern for me because while
now many parents watching Pastor Cofield would say, what?